Yo, what's up, guys? It's the Insane Game Freak here, back at it again with another movie review. This one's gonna be kind of weird because you're gonna hear about this film twice. Not everyone's gonna. Essentially, we have smaller casts for time constraints and convenience, but
This is the black version of the review.
don't
Oh,
no, damn it! Actually, because Richie's in the other one and he's not. Now you know what? Never mind. We're not.
It's
gonna,
okay.
We're not doing this.
Yeah.
So
We're
first,
not
We're
talking
not there
about
yet.
race.
first
We're
thing,
not talking about race. We're talking about like the actual colors.
Yeah.
oh,
He's meant black and white.
I get it, but I feel like that was just a cheap save.
We're in 2019. That shit just flies.
Yeah, I
by
feel
our
like that
head,
was
man.
a cheap save to justify his weirdness. So we're not gonna acknowledge it. Anywho, let's introduce our smaller panel of people today. Starting with KG. How are you doing, sir?
Good. Just here, relaxing, and excited to actually talk about this film for all the wrong reasons.
Oh Lord.
Oh God.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
Yeah.
Taro. How you feeling, buddy?
I want to go home.
Oh, what are you fucking? Damn it! what's the reference I'm thinking
I'm
of?
referencing the movie.
No, I was thinking. Oh, I see what you were doing there, but that's not what I was thinking of. I was thinking of Wizard of Oz. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh no.
Well, I guess we're not in Kansas anymore. Anyways,
I was referencing the movie.
and we have a return. I don't know how long it's been actually. I haven't gone back and looked at the reviews. But it's been a while. Hi, Vanessa. Hi.
Hi, Nessa.
Hi. I was like, yeah, no. Just say you guys are super lucky today.
Oh,
Are we?
great.
And just like that, she got shocked by electricity.
Yeah.
Lightning is a motherfucker, all right, folks. Just remember
Yeah.
that. So the movie we're actually talking about in question, because I haven't actually brought it up, is its English name is Pokemon the movie, Genesect and the Legend Awakened, which is an interesting title, I guess. I don't know if I would call it that, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, that's weird.
So, just so people understand what we're doing here is that this review is only including me, Tyrone, Vanessa, and KG. And the next review is definitely including Richie and TSS. And maybe a water Pokemon will show up. I don't know. I don't like to make promises I'm not 100% sure on, but just keep an eye out for that. But with all of that considered, Tyrone, we need a plot summary, sir. Do it.
All right, Pokemon the movie Genesect and the Legend Awakens starts off with Mewtwo flying across the entire world with a couple of flying bird Pokemon. Tries to race him, enjoys the world that he's in. Once that's set up, we see that a horde of Genesect are flying across the world as well, being led by a shiny Genesect that is red. They go to a location that's familiar to them as their home area. However, tons upon tons of years have passed since they've been resurrected as machine-like Pokemon, but back then they were fossilized. Once they make it there, however, they're very confused because the area that they're in isn't the home that they are used to, so they try to figure it out and investigate more. Meanwhile, we cut to our heroes who are in the area known as Pokemon Hill, or the Poke Hill, which is surrounded by city environment, and the place looks like Madison Garden, or like KG, you live in New York. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yep, I know exactly
You forgot
what
the
you're referring
square, sir. You forgot the
Yeah,
square.
the Madison.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
also
looks like
Times
the.
Square.
Yeah, it looks like Times Square. Like it's got like these huge TVs everywhere, and it looks pretty cool. Anyway, though, apparently this is an area where not only the city can thrive, but also the Pokemon, because they have it's like city and wildlife have combined somehow. So we get a long amount of time of Pokemon playing in this area. We meet a Sableye that just sort of joins our heroes for no reason. Then Ash meets up with one of the Genesect that apparently got lost on its way to following the other Genesect. Ash gets on top of it without questioning it whatsoever and freaking rides the thing for about 5 minutes. Then after that, he learns that it's depressed. Yeah, Ash, that's what you do on a Pokemon. You step on it while it's depressed. But
This got really weird really quickly.
yeah, exactly. So after that, he learns that the Pokemon wants to go home, so Ash agrees that he'll take him home. When that happens, the other Genesect end up having a misunderstanding about Ash's connection with the other Genesect, so they end up attacking Ash and the others. When they do, they are saved by Mewtwo. Mewtwo also has the ability to transform into its Mewtwo Mega Form Y. However, at the time of this movie, that wasn't called that. It was just called its. Some people just dubbed it its Awakened form, where it's faster and stronger, but there's no real reason why it can do this. It just can.
It just does.
It just does. It just is. No, nobody knew anything about this form yet. Mega Evolution wasn't even mentioned. This was supposed to segue into X and Y rather than showing off a new Pokemon. They just showed off Mewtwo having a new form. Also, this is a completely different Mewtwo from the Mewtwo that you're used to. No longer voiced by Dan Green, now voiced by some chick. And it's a girl Mewtwo. And it said apparently it's a different Mewtwo than the Mewtwo that you know, so Ash acts like it's never seen it before. And Mewtwo doesn't want anything to do with humans, even though in the battle with Genesect, it wants to lead it away because it's hurting people. Okay.
Wait, didn't Ash actually be like, wait, that's, and then got cut off? Like he was gonna say Mewtwo?
Yeah, he was gonna say that, but it's clear that at this point he recognizes what Mewtwo is, but he knows that that's not the Mewtwo that he knows. Otherwise, they would have been able to have a full-fledged conversation. Also, Mewtwo sort of gives him the cold shoulder because apparently it doesn't like humans, but does like him. Whatever. So after that, we see that the Pokemon that are actually living in Pokemon Heal have a bit of a rivalry against the Genesect that want to inhabit it because they're trying to make their entire nest in the area. So an all-out war happens between the Pokemon that live in Pokemon Heal versus the Genesect. When the two end up fighting, though, Ash gets in between the fight. All Pokemon the first movie style almost gets hurt, but the Genesect that he befriended comes in and saves him at last minute, but ends up getting hurt. At that point, the battle rages on between Mewtwo and the shiny Genesect. At this point, though, the entire Poke Heal is getting caught on fire due to the crossfire of their fight. At this point, the Pokemon from Pokemon Heal as well, the Genesect, work together to douse the fire. When this happens, though, the shiny Genesect still views them as an enemy. Mewtwo takes it upon itself to transform and take it all the way up into the atmosphere to show that everybody lives on planet Earth, no matter where you came from. This is all of our apartment, and we're all roommates. And so after that, they all end up losing energy, and they fall to the atmosphere. Ash and the others think of a plan, cushion their fall. Once they cushion their fall, everybody's saved, everybody's happy. Genesect and the others learn to share. Happy, lucky ending. Everyone goes about their way. The end.
Okay. So, to do a few tidbits before we get into the general thoughts and opinions, I looked up to see what the name of this film is in Japan, in Japanese, and it is known as Pocket Monster's Best Wishes, the movie Extreme Speed Genesect and Mewtwo Awakens, which I get it. I don't know if I think I actually think the American name is better.
Yeah.
Also, funny thing, this movie came out the same year X and Y came out. It actually came out in July in Japan, and then we got it in October of that same year, which I think was around the time X and Y came out. X and Y came out, I think, October in the U.S.
And I think it showed the 2 episodes too to premiere at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now you mentioned it, I was like, oh yeah, Shed is right.
So that's it's a weird cross promotion, even though it's the last Generation 5 film. It seems ironically enough, I would say this film tries to take a similar route to Keldeo by making it pseudo small scale in the sense that it doesn't really involve a lot of extra people. The only extra characters we even get that are humans are like Eric and you see Nurse Joy
for
a little while. Also, didn't realize the Lucky joke was so overused in this film. That kind of threw me off.
Oh, the Chansey. Yeah, it does not translate well either.
How does it? Yeah, because I didn't watch it in English. What is it? What do they do in English?
Okay, so they're like, Silent goes, oh, wow, we get to see the Pokemon Heal, which isn't introduced to the public yet. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. And Ash goes, Chansey? I don't see a Chansey. And then Chansey shows up, and they're like, it's Chansey!
So it's
and I'm like, kill me.
Yeah, that doesn't translate well.
That was literally ironically enough, I'm surprised they were even get that close because Chansey's name is Lucky in Japan. There is no you don't have to reach for it. It literally is the word. Whereas, and then I think Team Rocket does something similar, where Team Rocket go ahead. Now, all right, quietness is.
I'm sorry.
I opened the door and nobody answered. Shut the
I
damn door.
thought Nessa was gonna say something.
I wasn't
Team
sure.
Rocket,
Yeah, I
was
wasn't
like,
sure who
what?
the hell was gonna say what.
yeah,
So I was just
Team
like,
Rocket. Basically, Team Rocket says, there's some legendary Pokemon. We'll take Genesect and Mewtwo, and this is our chance. And then Chansey shows up again.
Yeah, I get the joke. It's just that, there wasn't a lot they could do, to be fair. That joke is so
Right.
rooted in the name of the Pokemon.
Right.
That they
That's why
named-
Sudowoodo in movie 22 is weird.
What is his name in Japanese again?
Usoki or something like that.
Yeah, which translates to like liar, liar, or something.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah,
because Sudowoodo's entire being, it's a lie. It looks like it's a grass type Pokemon, but in reality, it's a rock.
Your life is a lie, you poor fool.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, getting into the movie review proper, I'll go ahead and say this right now. This was the first time I've seen this film.
And I was really interested to hear your thoughts on this, given that
this was starting my. This is essentially, I think it was around this film that I just stopped watching the movies. I don't think I've seen any movie past the last week's. I mean, not last. Last week's. No, pretty much movie 15. Movie 15 was the last film I saw. So going into this was a blind viewing. I watched it in Japanese. Thanks for the people who gave me links to watch it in Japanese. And it was an interesting experience. But before I give my review, Tyrone, you've already kind of alluded. So what are your general thoughts on this film?
Can I go last, please? I got a lot to get off.
Oh Lord.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Vanessa.
This was like my second time watching this movie, and to be quite honest, too, I guess it was basically okay for me. Like, there's not.
Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
yeah. There's I don't really hate it, and I don't really like it either, too. So this one's kind of like a big mess to me. But I was like, the only thing that this film kind of bothers me a lot is just like they basically threw out every continuity you can think of, and I think maybe just because it's black and white, like I guess they were trying to do that reboot, and then they just like erased everything, so like Ash didn't know who Mewtwo was, and then everyone was just sitting here like, oh, who's they didn't look too surprised, and also Mewtwo's backstory. I think they didn't really give like a good backstory. They were just claiming like, oh, we were created by some scientist, but it was not Team Rocket. So it was kind of like, and so I was like, but how the heck did you figure out how to make Mewtwo though? Like I thought I guess it contradicts from the first movie, like. So that was like that. There was just a lot of mostly things that kind of end up popping up questions more than answers from this movie.
Okay, KG.
Yeah. I mean, I really can't add much to what Nessa had said here, because
That's why we let ladies go first.
it's just my issue with this film is it's so bland, and there are moments within this film that's just downright so what's the proper word to use for it? It feels so extended. Like there are moments in this film where it just takes a long, it drags at certain moments, man, and I feel like that really just hindered my experience. I think that also kind of the reason as to why is because we just came out of Keldeo, you know what I mean? And that film was able to tell a decent enough story in the time that it had, and was able to really, flesh out as much as possible for not only Keldeo's character, but also the other characters that were introduced within the film. Here, I really didn't get anything in regard to their character, because I don't even think they developed at all. I just think it was just like, well, we're just going to leave it open and leave it at that. You know what I mean? It feels like nobody won anything at the end of this film.
So, I guess I'll go next because I know Tyrone wants to go last.
Yeah.
The way I started this film, it seemed relatively interesting. I didn't really have an issue with it in the beginning part of the film. The second half, I don't really know what the fuck they were doing after a certain point. Ironically enough, I think it tried to repeat a lot of what Keldeo was trying to do, but I don't know what the fuck was going on towards the end of the film And specifically, I think the biggest bastardization is probably this Mewtwo, and not in the way that most people are probably thinking. I'll get into more detail later, but Mewtwo's representation and use in the story seem really janky and jarring. I really don't care for the way it was resolved. That really was like, what the fuck? And the only thing I think I'll give this movie a lot of credit for is it used a lot of the Pokemon well. And it's probably one of the best representations of the wild Pokemon that we've seen in a film in a while.
And even the Pokemon that are owned by the characters, like,
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm
love,
saying.
like, the last act, I think, really did a good job with showing off everything.
It has a good representation of Ash's and Silence and Iris's teams. For the most part, they're used pretty effectively. My main thing is that I think it tried to recapture the same magic Keldeo had and couldn't fucking do it. But I'm going to use Tyrone's thoughts as a jumping off point. So, Tyrone, you're going to essentially kick off the general discussion here. So, what did you think of the movie, Tyrone?
Oh my god, this movie is annoying. So, the reason why... Remember when we said that Ash was barely a prominent character in the Keldeo movie, but it worked out because this is Keldeo's movie, and Ash is just there as the support for Keldeo? Well, this movie tries that again, but it doesn't work at all because the characters aren't even supporting. They're just being downright useless until the very end of the movie, until the movies come basically over. They don't do anything until, oh snaps, Genesect and Mewtwo are both falling to their deaths. Let's have all of our Pokemon come together and actually stop that from happening. But during the fight with Genesect, with the other Genesect, at no point Ash goes, oh, I have a Charizard. Like, the fuck, dude? You have a Charizard. Use it.
I actually agree with you. I was actually annoyed by that too. Like, at the fight, they were just all standing there just watching them fight and don't do nothing.
The most frustrating thing about about the latter half of this film, I am almost painfully surprised how inactive Ash and the folks were toward the latter half of the film. Like, they just not do anything.
And I know they're trying to do the whole, well, we want Ash to not be on any side here. He's supposed to be the middleman that stops the two. Okay, but even in Pokemon, the first movie, Ash took a side for a while. It took till the Pokemon were actually killing each other for him to learn that this was wrong. It's called character growth. Here, Ash is just looking around going, oh no, the Genesect are attacking us. Whatever shall we do? How about use the fucking Charizard? How about that?
Remember?
Go ahead, KG. Go.
Okay,
go.
I was gonna say, the thing that this reminds me of is the discussion we had back with the Zoroark movie. Remember how I told you that they had all these fully evolved Pokemon, and yet they did not use them at any point whatsoever? And I said the reason as to why is because I think that the story would have been done within 15 minutes. Like that, in that film, it made a bit more sense because they're not going up against legendaries; they're just going up against a Zoroark. Yeah, but here there are mythicals, there are legendaries. Now there's a little bit more of an even playing field in terms of the Pokemon that they have, because as you mentioned, Charizard's there, Dragonite's there. You have all these other members within the cast that are present there that could effectively do something.
Is it sad that I'm rooting for this random ass Feraligatr that's doing all the goddamn fighting?
Bro, this man,
he's taking it like a champ.
This man is like, where is my gold star? I am now the new main character of the anime. That's what he was.
MVP goes to this man.
Poor Feraligatr. This Feraligatr was taking a beating. Like, he was fighting 3 Genesect and I'm just like, Ash, Ash, you have a fucking Charizard.
No. If we're gonna talk about beatings, I want to talk about the Genesect subplot they did with the one that's like supposedly nice and everything.
Oh, I want to go home. Bullshit.
Like, listen, I don't have an issue with that. He also ends up getting beaten the shit out of a lot in this film. I don't really understand the motivation of. Well, I won't say I don't understand it. I guess I don't really feel like the shiny Genesect's reasoning for what he's doing seems a little ridiculous. Yeah, he's just like, it feels like he's just a dick for the sake of being a dick because we need
Yeah.
him to be antagonistic. And let me get on the Mewtwo conversation because this is the thing that I have issues with, but it's not in the way you're thinking. I don't mind them using a different Mewtwo. I don't mind you doing a different, slightly different kind of origin story where this Mewtwo isn't just hateful towards everything. This Mewtwo is hateful specifically towards, well, I wouldn't say hateful, but distant towards humans. My problem is Mewtwo barely interacts with the main cast except for at the beginning of the film. The majority of the fight is just fighting Genesect, and the humans aren't acknowledged, and then they give it that random scene in the middle where Ash and Silent and Iris help grab it as it's falling, and then like that's it. And then obviously them saving it when it falls to the moon. The weird moon thing, that is probably the other thing that pisses me the fuck off. What is me flying above into space, showing you the sun, and then that goes, I guess we're friends now. What?
Because I guess the idea was supposed to be that Mewtwo takes him up there to say, "Hey, yeah, you've been away from your home for a while, but on Earth, this is your home no matter where you go. So no matter where you go, you're at home." Was this supposed to be the idea, but it does not translate well in the context of the fight because it has no relevance to the actual fight. Animals have tutorial battles all the time. Like that's been a thing. That's been a thing since ancient times. It's been a thing since dinosaurs. Goddamn me! But this doesn't work because this doesn't work. Right, this doesn't work because Mewtwo and Genesect are supposed to be intellectual creatures. They talk. So if you're gonna reason with Genesect, that's fine, but don't just fly him up into space and go, "That's our home," and then it goes, "All right, I guess I'll calm down." Like the fuck.
Especially like I said, especially because the majority of the film he was just being a dick for, it felt like, just for the sake of being a dick. So it's like, all I have to do is show you the sun and give you a bullshit metaphor, and that's all it takes. And it's like, why the fuck was that? Why do I have to do all that just to get you to be like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't fuck with people? and he's like, in the way they portray Genesect in this film, they're like robots. So it makes even less sense. They seem illogical as fuck to all of a sudden be like, and also, why does the shiny Genesect for some reason have control over the other Genesect?
Well,
yeah, that's my other question too.
That's a common thing where in natural, I guess I'm gonna reach just for this movie, unfortunately, even though I hate it. Generally, the most powerful of any animal in a group is the leader, and this Genesect sticks out. So obviously it has leader-like traits. Red usually is a symbolism for power, and it knows extreme speed, making it effectively faster than the rest of the group. So they're gonna naturally follow it.
It also has mind control powers, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that too. I don't really know what the fuck that's about. I think the scientists that made it just wanted to make it the dominant one. I don't know.
I do like how they reference that Team Plasma's the one who like woke them up.
Yeah, and I know there's a Best Wishes episode where they actually show up. Like they're in it.
I believe N was there. He was at the broken lab, and he's noticed that certain Pokemon have fled the location.
And that's kind of funny. Yeah. If you watch the Japanese version and watch the credits, the ending credit shows a lot of the characters from the anime, including like the rivals and stuff. But it also has this extended shot of N towards the end.
Yeah, he had his own thing for a bit in the
Yeah, I'm kind of pissed off he wasn't in this film.
So why wasn't N in this movie? Right? What the fuck? This is a movie literally. This is a movie literally about Pokemon fighting each other for territory, and N's not in it.
Yeah, ironically,
that was a perfect movie for him. I don't know why.
It almost felt like that's what they wanted to do, and they had to like back out at the last minute. It's very off-putting, I guess.
And Mewtwo doesn't like people. He likes Pokemon and talks to Pokemon. He is the mediator for all of this shit. It would have been a great Mewtwo and N standoff. This movie wastes so much of its potential.
This movie's just kind of weird because I still stick by the idea that it reminds me way too much of Keldeo without really hitting the same points, because Keldeo was a pretty simple story. This seems like it's supposed to be simple, but it's weirdly displayed. oh, the Genesects are just dicks because they just woke up and they're trying to find their home, but you don't get to tell me what to do because you're not my dad, so get the fuck out of my face. And then
And
Yeah, you can't tell me what to do.
and they ruin all of that with Mewtwo showing up and seeing the Genesect and talking to it. Because after that, Mewtwo, she basically goes, "Oh, they were made just." Mewtwo has mind reading powers now, so she's just like, "Oh, they were just like me, made in a lab, so they hate human." Why are you explaining all of this?
this also is weird coming from her because she doesn't. Considering her flashback is told in like 5 minutes, and like I said, she barely interacts with the main cast. It almost seemed like they just used this Mewtwo for A, marketing, and then 2, for plot, for like plot exposition and to further the plot. They needed something to further the plot. The way this movie is set up, you could have just had it only be about the Genesect and probably still got the same general idea across. Mewtwo was here for marketing and for fucking plot convenience.
And they probably wouldn't need. They actually wouldn't need Ash. Sorry.
No, you're right.
Yeah, no, you're fine. And if anything, like they could have had, if they were to have a human character, because Eric just sort of is there. I almost forgot he existed for a while. If they had a human character, I wish they would have had a human character that's constantly trying to get in touch with Mewtwo and talk with him and stuff. Like he's seen him before, but it's never worked out because Mewtwo's always turned a cold shoulder towards humans. And then he finds like this item that has some connection with Mewtwo. When Mewtwo finally decides to put aside his hatred for humans, or her hatred for humans, Mewtwo teams up with the guy to try to calm Genesect down, and that's what turns Mewtwo into the awakened form, which would be Mewtwo Y later. That way, at least the Mega Evolution thing seems relevant. Nah, Mewtwo can just turn into Mewtwo Y whatever she wants. Fuck it.
Yeah, I do, and I will give it credit. It does have really good action sequences.
Oh yeah, the fight scenes are actually pretty good, and the English version actually uses Japanese music. I was surprised at that. Yeah, there's a lot of songs in there that are legitimately from the Japanese version.
I think this was the last film that uses the Japanese soundtrack till we get Diamond.
Yes.
X and Y. They just completely decided to do their own thing after that.
Oh, so X and Y uses completely original music?
Yeah. It gets Ed Goldfarb.
Goldfarb, yeah. That's Goldfarb comes in the picture.
So.
Jesus.
Is he still around, actually?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
I know, it hurts. I believe that what they said was that everyone's story originally was to have one, but because Goldfarb wasn't around, they didn't do it. So they just stuck with the original Japanese score.
So the only reason why you got the Japanese audio was only because he wasn't around in the studio.
At the time being.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that just means they can spend money.
Well, that's true. So, but just to get back to the film, it's weird because I started out with the film and I liked it. I think the animation was nice. I liked the fact that they did the Pokemon scene pretty early in the film. I was cool probably all the way up until after Mewtwo saves him. Because and this is the problem with the film, that even though, okay, fine, I can accept personally that this is a different Mewtwo. I wish maybe they had given this Mewtwo different physical features or traits to make it like I wish either A, it stayed in its Y variant the whole time, or made it look different from like a traditional Mewtwo. Because the first problem is that people get annoyed that Ash doesn't recognize who Mewtwo is. That's just something that's gonna happen because the fan base has been around since 1998.
1998, 96 in Japan.
And it's one of those things where, like, if you're going to make this a new Mewtwo, let it be a full-on new Mewtwo. Because in Japan, it seems like he doesn't know who it is. He doesn't recognize the Pokemon at all. I find it kind of jarring. I actually would have liked the interesting idea. Because think about it, in a bunch of different generations in the games, you can constantly catch Mewtwo. So it makes sense that maybe multiple teams would keep trying to make Mewtwo and make it better, but its design changes depending on who's messing with its DNA to kind of get that perfect clone. And to give it more of a physical differentiate, make it look different, I guess. So the first issue is Ash not recognizing it. The second issue is that it seems like a fucking side character. It seems like, listen, I just need you to advance the plot in these key moments. That's all I need you for, Mewtwo. you can casually talk about your backstory while you're flying somewhere or some shit like that. But for the most part, you're irrelevant. And then the Genesect plotline with the one Genesect that's like kind of nice and talks and shit. It's I don't hate it. It's just not executed properly. And I don't. Go ahead.
I know. It's like now that probably doesn't help too. This film was pretty short.
I think it's about the same length as the Keldeo film.
It felt
But
like
it
it was
felt
going
long.
It felt like it was going forever.
Well,
God
damn. That's because you have no patience.
No, I had patience for the Keldeo film.
No, but I kind of feel like this one here was just basically oddly paced and everything, and then I felt to me it was like it's short. And
Oh no, it is short though, because it's like an hour. It's like an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
less than
It's
that.
an hour 10. You know, it's an hour 10. He's right.
Yeah, because that's why I was like, oh, it's kind of short, or maybe it doesn't help because I just watched Endgame. That was 3 hours.
And I guess, well, and going back to the Genesect you were talking about, sorry, I know you may not have like minded. I didn't like this Genesect not because it was like annoying like Shaman, because it wasn't. It wasn't annoying like Shaman, but this thing was depressing. Oh God damn it, this thing was depressing. Every time it was sad about something. I get it. You want to go back to your original home, but at this point, when I saw the thing cry. Oh, it's just like, I want to go home. And I guess the idea that a machine crying is supposed to hit you where it hurts, but this thing has been crying since the movie started. I don't care anymore.
I couldn't get really attached to it either. I didn't really feel anything.
You know why? It's because they only spent one real moment together in the beginning of the film with the surfing on Genesect scene. And then all of a sudden, Ash has like this weirdly deep emotional connection with it all of a sudden. And I'm like, you can't just have them have one fun scene
It's
and
like,
then...
You can't have Ash hop on top of it without it even saying anything, surf on it for 5 minutes, and then it go into a depressed state. I'm like, what the fuck?
Because like, that's like the only nice scenes with it. The rest of the scenes is literally just, let's see how many times we can beat the shit out of it.
You know what's sad? That was the only part I actually really enjoyed in the movie, was Ash surfing the Genesect.
Because the animation was really nice.
Yeah, like the animation.
Because it looks beautiful.
The animation in this movie is pretty fucking consistent.
Like, I will admit, I even like when the red Genesect is like zipping across the city with extreme speed. That looks cool. I like that.
Yeah, visual, like animation-wise,
straight
is great.
lines just passing by and all that.
Yeah, it's like darting across the city and stuff. It's really cool.
I also loved it when they were like inside the. I forgot what they called it. It was like at the third act of the film. They were inside a dome, I think it was. And I just loved how the scenery looked around there when the Genesect and Mewtwo were fighting during that whole moment. It looked really nice. It's just as mentioned before, none of it really made sense in the end of it all.
You know what bothers me also?
I like when time freezes to show how fast they're going.
Oh yeah, that's great. The other thing that bothers me though, why the fuck is we never go in the cocoon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. What's inside the cocoon?
Yeah, because it only bothers me because you spend so much time in that dome area. You spend so much time. I think it's like half the film. I'm literally just sitting in the dome watching Ash look on at the situation. And like one thing changes. Oh, Feraligatr attacks. Then Mewtwo saves it when it falls off. Then Ash saves the Genesect when the Team Rocket catcher. Which I guess do we need to bring them up real quick?
They were there.
Rocket was maybe like 30 seconds.
Yeah, they were there and then they left.
They
didn't interfere with the plot.
Go ahead.
I got a question though. Wasn't the Genesect the ones who were manipulating the roots or something? Because they did something that I don't know what the heck they was doing, but it was like
they made like a string shot that turned into like the trees or something. It was weird.
Yeah, I didn't get it because I was wondering like, is that an attack or something, or like I didn't quite get that part.
It seems like a variation on string shot, but it's like Genesect's version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't really mind it because it's obviously meant to do the cocoon. I don't like how the crisis of this film, by the way, was, oh no, if we don't stop them, the power's gonna go out and it's gonna blow up the hill. What?
And of course the power go out.
Why does the power going out cause the fucking place to explode?
Yeah, I didn't get that either. Like, our power just go out, it just goes out.
Also, side note, I'm gonna bring up one of the weirdest fucking scenes in this film. What is up with the weird extended scene of like these construction workers working and the lights flickering on and off for like a good 2 to 3 minutes?
That dragged. I hated
It dragged
it.
and it didn't have a purpose.
It didn't make sense to me.
I thought that was the whole Eevee bit, wasn't it?
It is the Eevee bit.
Yeah, it is the Eevee bit where the kids want to eat like dinner and
what's the
sandwiches.
it's longer than it needs to be.
I think it has something to do with the fact that the singer was actually voicing that
Get the
Eevee.
fuck out of here, yo.
Well, not the no. I get the mother and the daughter and the son thing, but not the construction workers. Like Ampharos like makes the light, and it's like, hey, thanks, Ampharos. And then the light flickers again. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
The scene drags, and it's right next to the scene with the kids and the Eevee with the mother. And I don't think the kids and Eevee with the mother is that relevant.
Well, yeah,
No,
but
they
the
only
mother.
they made an appearance again when I believe Eevee just noticed some things zipping by in the sky.
Yeah.
And then it started barking.
Yeah, the kids are because the kids are asleep in their bed, but Eevee notices the fight and it's ready to fight. A cute little thing, but
but it's still like, the fuck is the point of the scene?
It's just to show the environment.
But here's my issue. My issue with this is that this city is supposed to be, well, a city. It's supposed to be grand. It's supposed to be, vast, filled with variety of people and all that. I did not feel that shit at all in this film.
It felt empty. Like it felt like those were the only citizens that existed.
Exactly. And you're in a city. The whole concept of this film is you're in a city. That would have been so cool to have seen more slice of life moments with the characters just sort of chilling in, well, this universe's NYC. There's a lot to do. It would have been cool to have seen the characters go to like various spots, like a theater, to see plays, etc., shopping, all that kind of good stuff. None of that really went down. They were just stuck in the park.
To be fair, they did that. To be fair, they did that in Keldeo too.
And KG, you want to know what the worst part about all of that is, though? Is that the whole point of showing this off is like it's supposed to be an environment where Pokemon in the city and Pokemon in the woods, like the woods and the city are supposed to be as one. Like nature and nurture have found a way to come together. But I never felt so distant before in my life. Like I felt the most distant by this. I felt like the scene that happened in the Pokemon Hills was completely different than the scenes that were happening in the city, simply because they went out of the way to separate the two. And then when they do fight in the city, Mewtwo does a 180. I don't trust humans. I only care if Pokemon are safe, like Pikachu and Axew. The minute Genesect blows up one building, Mewtwo's like, "You're hurting people." I'm like, what the fuck? Where'd this come from?
That is true, though. Yeah, I was like, wow, what the change of heart all of a sudden?
I have no problem with character growth. In fact, that's one of the things about movies I like. But KG's right. If there were people in this city while Genesect was attacking, and then Mewtwo saw the people getting hurt, she could have flashed back to when the Pokemon got hurt, when Genesect hurt them.
And that would have been character development.
Yeah, and then she would have been like, okay, they hurt just like Pokemon do. I need to get Genesect out of here.
Actually, you want to know what would have been a better one? And it happened in the film, and I thought this was what it was going to lead to. Remember when Team Rocket tried to catch him, and then they got sent blasting off, but their gun gets stuck in the middle of the cocoon thing?
Yeah.
Later on in the film, that gun drops and is about to fall on Genesect, and Pikachu blocks it with an Iron Tail, right?
Right.
I thought the purpose of the scene was to show how Ash used Pikachu to help save Genesect. Mewtwo was supposed to see him do that, and it didn't happen. The scene was played out like normal, but I'm sitting there going, I thought the scene was for Mewtwo to see the good side of humans. Or another example of this.
It was for Genesect to hug Pikachu for like way too long.
Well, then the other thing, in the other example, just going off of the whole what you were talking about with the fight and the whole weird move switch, it could have been just another example with the Eevee and the kids, where a fucking piece of the debris is falling from slamming into the building. It's about to fall on the Eevee, and the little boy saves the Eevee. You could have had something as simple as that. The humans care about Pokemon in the same tier.
And it would have made that whole construction scene a little bit more relevant to the film. They would have made a nice little build up.
Honestly, if you know the biggest issue, and this is why I keep saying they underplay the shit out of Mewtwo this whole film. It's almost like the point of the film has nothing to do with Mewtwo, but we have to put him in because he's a plot device, so we got to do something. but they neglect everything else they can do with him in terms or her with development, and I'm like, why?
You could feel like this character was added in last minute.
And that's
Yeah.
weird to say about Mewtwo.
To show off the
Everything.
gimmick. To show off the XY gimmick.
And it's
Yeah.
weird to say that about Mewtwo of all characters. Of all the Pokemon you could shoehorn in, Mewtwo's the shoehorner? And granted, I'm not a huge fan of Mewtwo, to be fair. I don't really give... I can't... Gen 1 Pokemon in a lot of aspects have just kind of burnt bridges with me. Partially due to Game Freak, not necessarily due to the Pokemon themselves. But, like, it's Mewtwo. Like, regardless if you're a hardcore fan or not, it's Mewtwo.
Mm-hmm.
And you still got her holding second banana so you can get this weird bug terminating looking motherfucker to stop being an asshole for 5 seconds. But I need to freeze him to death through the flying of space and show him the sun for 5 seconds and then almost die on re-entry back to Earth.
Just to prove a point.
Yep.
Which wouldn't have meant anything had they ended up actually getting killed at the end of it all.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
so dumb.
It's just-
One thing that kind of bothered me too is like it feels like the entire scenery is just this is the wrong scenery for everything because I was like, why in the city? I was like, and then they're just mostly focused on like just the forest part of it, so they could have just put the scenery and everything someplace else, like more like where they went back home. That would have made more sense to be with everything going on instead of just in the middle of the city. It didn't like make any sense to me.
Yeah, that was
And then there,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's this flower that apparently exists in there that's from 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
3,000.
And they bring this 3,000. I'm sorry, and they bring this flower up, and it's like the only connection the Genesect got to here. It's like the only thing that's transcended through time along with them, and they don't do anything with it. The sad Genesect, I'll call it Ash's Genesect for now, picks it up, says I love it, and then just starts crying, and I'm just like, what? You wasted all that potential. You have
to
this
be
one
fair-
connection, and
Yeah.
you're not even using
to be
it.
fair, it is used at the end of the film when they do find them
Yeah.
a place. So I will defend that it was used. It just took way too long to get to that resolution.
Right, and it's just
They could have just gone to an adventure going back home. Like it doesn't have to be in the city.
Also, side note, like I said, to agree with the scenery issue, that's the problem with having the majority of the film take place in this one fucking area. It's half the film is in this goddamn dome. And it starts from the very beginning when it's like, oh, the power goes out. Sableye warns them. Now we gotta go check. Then the Pokemon come back. Then they fight. Then Mewtwo shows up. They fight some more. Then the damn cocoon starts to burn. They fight some more. Then the Genesect get hurt. Then they get trapped by the flames. You're still in the same goddamn area for like 30 to 40 minutes. And I'm like, go in the cocoon. Go on different floors. Something. Like, holy shit. It's
I feel like they were just lazy. They were just lazy.
Yeah.
It bothers me, yo.
Yeah.
Also the city was underused, like KG said too. That like they could have done good at the theater. They could have gone to like in the marketplace or something. Like nothing. And then there's no people. Like it just felt like everything was just wrong. Everything was just wrong for this film.
yeah.
And I guess my main issue is just like, it felt like the whole point of the film was really Genesect, which is insane to me, considering Genesect, even though being based on like this robotic bug, it's only speaking in broken phrases and shit. Like, enemies must eliminate. And I'm like, what?
That's all you
They
said.
said the English version, I think, has them say a little bit more, but it is inconsistent. And I almost couldn't tell if the Pokemon were actually talking or were they just telepathically talking amongst themselves, and Ash and the others just can't understand them.
Everyone's a fucking
But-
psychic, yo.
Yeah, and then
Right.
you just hear robots saying beep 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 beep, but Mewtwo somehow was
Right.
able to actually translate that shit.
KG's in the back like, beep beep, boop 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 boop. Hey, how are
Right.
you? Boo, 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 boo.
I like the idea. I like the idea that they did the clicks like insects do, but it doesn't translate well when you have them talking any goddamn way. So it's just like whatever.
Yeah, it's almost like they wanted their cake and eat it too. They do the clicking noises like crickets or insects. They also talk in broken sentences, but they talk in a robotic way. It's like you wanted to capture every little thing about Genesect, and you're like, but it doesn't flow well. Pick one. Either do the insect noises with robotic sound effects, or have him talk. Actually, just do the insect noises with robotic sound effects, because what they had to say was either eliminate, friend, I want to go home, I'm lost.
Yeah.
That's literally all of Genesect's lines in the film.
Yeah.
I'm so
Just
dumb with this
laziness.
shit. Yeah.
It's just this was definitely it's just annoying to watch. Every scene I just had some problem with it because I feel like this movie had so much potential to be better.
Yeah, I
and
like the
show-
setup.
Yeah, I would say I feel like it just chose not to. Every step of the way, it chose not to. It chose to not tackle the backstory behind the Genesect. It chose not to tackle this new Mewtwo's backstory. It chose not to elaborate on Mewtwo's new power of Mega Evolution or try to. I'm not saying they should have just straight up given away what Mega Evolution is, because I don't think Mega Evolution was a concept yet. But
Well, technically it was.
well, technically, but they could have at least tried to talk about it or something. Mewtwo's Mega Evolution in this movie is completely out of nowhere. And even when I first watched the movie, I was like, are they going to explain what this new form is? No? That just Mewtwo can do it? Fuck it. Okay.
I wish
like
it,
no
that's like I
explanation.
said. I wish it had just stayed in this form the whole film. It would have
Yeah,
looked,
because
it
there was
would-
no reason for it to revert. You never
Yeah,
saw it
yeah.
like as if its power was draining.
There's so many awkward moments where Mewtwo will just transform back into regular Mewtwo. What, to remind people that this is still Mewtwo or something? What the fuck was that about?
It would have been nice had Mewtwo been Y the whole time, and then like at the very end of the film during the credits, that's when it reverts back to its regular form to kind of be like, so this is its original form.
I
You know
would.
what I mean?
I think I actually would have preferred it staying as Y, because it was like I was saying, if it's a new Mewtwo, giving it the Y look and having that be its default look for this film, kind of allows it to be a different Mewtwo, even though it's still Mewtwo.
Yeah, I
Did-
would have been curious, but I would have been curious for the right reasons. Here, I'm curious for the wrong goddamn reasons. It just raised more questions.
Yeah, it was just more questions for this film, anyways.
I was like, fuck it. Mewtwo's tail's just gonna be on his head now with the can opener on top.
Freezer.
Hey, listen. We don't talk about that. He's sensitive about that hair, all right? Or
That high quality Jesse hair.
I
man.
don't know what the. It's
Right. Oh my god, I can't look at it the same now that you said
How did
Jesse
you?
hair.
Are you telling me you just now noticed that? Come on, yo.
That
didn't
was the
even
first thing I saw when I saw that first Y form.
You know what? It's Mewtwo. I didn't even think about it. I
Come
didn't.
on,
I
Tyrone.
didn't try. I tried not to.
It
I tried not to
curves,
think
too.
about it.
It literally,
tried
like,
not
there
to
was no
think
way you
about it.
couldn't have gotten that reference. Jesus Christ.
Well, because Jesse's hair is red and bright. It's part
really,
of her
that's
hair.
the color wasn't right. God damn it.
Mewtwo. I'm not used to Mewtwo looking like this all the way up till this point. This was like, oh yeah, I forgot.
Tyrone,
Even-
Tyrone,
even in
it's
the
literally
games-
one of those things where you have to go down a fork in a road, and the left side obviously has fire around it, and the other side has grass. And I would still have to draw, and I would still have to draw you an arrow because you would still find a way to get lost.
because I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about Mewtwo enough to care about that. Like,
But why
Mewtwo's
did you
not
care
even my
about it
favorite
during the time that was
Pokemon.
revealed, though?
Yeah, you
Well,
would have
I
cared
cared
then.
about the form, but I didn't think about Jesse's hair during the time. I was just like, why does Mewtwo look like that?
I have no words for you.
You
sir.
know, this would have been a perfect opportunity to have played along with that whole drama CD that I remember Polly talking about a long back. I forgot which video it was in particular, but remember how we've been speculating about that whole Jesse's mother with Mew kind of connection that was
Oh,
going
that.
on?
No.
I would have loved it if that
I know
whole
which
Y
direction
form
you're
was
going.
like
No.
some sort of
No.
like little hint towards
Let
that.
me get my pen out so we can start writing the fan fiction.
No.
One day in the woods,
Cease.
Mrs. Musashi
Cease.
was
Cease
found
and desist.
walked in the forest and
Wow.
found a pink little ball. The pink little ball had a tail. Found out this was a Pokemon.
Stop.
And then it was
End this now.
and then the pink ball ripped off its limbs with
Oh
psychic
my
power.
goodness.
That was the
Video
end
game.
of Musashi's mother. Welcome to the
Dead.
world of Pokemon.
I give up.
Now,
Like, plays that happy-go-lucky music.
that's- be like,
The world of Pokemon.
no, it'd
Wow.
be one of those things where Mew's like, meow, and then cracks Jesse's mom's neck, and then you hear the
The world of Pokemon. What a vast and mysterious place. Trainers battle and to master the art of the Pokemon battle. It's Ash Ketchum.
You know what they should do though? When they're doing the speech, the world of Pokemon speech, the clip should literally just be Musashi looking for her mom. So it should be like she's just wandering around the world with Jesse.
This is terrible. I fucking love this.
Stop it! We're done. Jesus Christ. There is one thing.
Long story
Actually,
short,
yeah.
Jesse
Listen,
Care connects with
there's two
Mewtwo.
things we have to
Confirmed.
do left before we end this. The first thing is obviously give
Aw.
our score.
Oh God! Oh, I forgot all
I
about
don't
that.
have a lot of
Me
things.
too.
And then,
Oh,
the,
wow,
and then
regarding
the
this
second
film.
thing we have to do is rank the Gen 5 films. That's the second thing we have
Ah,
to do.
yeah, I forgot about that too.
We got 4 films to rank then.
4.
No, we just have 3.
Yeah, was it where
Uh-huh.
the fuck is the fourth one?
Black and
I
white.
think he meant the
No,
black and
I-
white.
no,
There's
no,
No!
they're not 2 films.
No, we're not doing that.
They're the same film.
No, they're not. They have differences.
Don't do
KG,
KG.
don't do this.
So you're
Oh
just
my
hey,
goodness.
listen, you're just trying to be edgy because you're Shadow right now. I don't want to hear this shit, all right?
Oh, the
Yeah, he
edge.
is.
I don't want to hear this. You just KG put on his black hoodie and he's like, my
Ugh.
name isn't KG, my name is GK.
Oh, God.
It's gonna be
I'm
kind of hard.
Vivek.
It's gonna be hard for me to film rate the other one because I wasn't the other two and haven't seen them in a while. So it's gonna probably be based off of memory.
I apologize. Unfortunately,
That's okay.
this is
So, Ness, I think we should change it up for you. Just say which one is your favorite of the black and white movies. Then.
yeah, that might be easier for you.
Okay.
But first things first, we need to rate this film. I'm gonna let Tyrone go first. Tyrone, what do you rate this film?
A 2.
Jeez, that's harsh.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
that was fast.
You want to give? You want
I've
to?
been-
You want to say why?
I gave it the rating the minute I got done watching the movie, and I was just waiting.
Because Mewtwo, I get you, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, just for that, it gets a 1. KG fucked it up. Just for that, it gets a 1. Just for that shit.
I'm pretty sure.
KG ruined the movie.
Oh my god.
Also, I just love how I just got a notification right now because I'm recording with OBS and I forgot to turn off the notifications whenever something happens on my channel. Somebody just fucking subscribed the moment I said that shit.
Oh God.
He made a
Oh,
pun,
but
and
seriously,
every time KG makes a pun, we get a new subscription.
right?
Oh man.
But seriously, I did give it a 2, and the reason I give it a 2 is because
Me too.
this movie. Oh God, stop! This movie takes every wrong step. Like it had such beautiful potential to be something. You know, dealing with territorial battles, dealing with nature versus nurture, dealing with the trust of people in Pokemon, which is a plot that's been done a lot before. But here, I think it was very good because not only do we get Mewtwo feeling that way towards humans, we get Genesect feeling that way as well. So we get like character growth from all different perspectives, but they don't do any of it. It's sloppy. The environment is very lazy. While it's an interesting concept, but they never really compliment on it at all. The city's barren, only has like 5 people in it. Ash and the others do absolutely nothing until the last absolute minute. They don't utilize their Pokemon in any way unless it's, to save the day at the final part. Just wasted potential all around. The only reason it gets a 2 and not the lowest score is because they have the tools to be good. It's just a lack of using them. So yeah, this movie. Oh, and it uses the original Japanese score. I will respect it for that. That was nice. And visually, this movie's great. So it earns those, but the meat of the movie completely knocks out the shell of the movie. So it's like eating a chocolate, but you found out there's freaking orange cream inside of it. Like the outside of the chocolate shell was nice, but the orange creamy shit inside was terrible.
Tyrone has the
So-
weirdest references, yo.
Yeah, so it's like that. It's disappointing the entire way. So yeah, this movie completely crapped on any potential it had, and that makes me sad. So yeah, 2.
Did you mean for that the rhyme?
No, I just was talking
Oh,
in the
okay.
words.
He's like, it lost all the potential it had, and that makes me sad. And I was like,
Wow.
Mewtwo, you lose.
No, God.
That's terrible.
Mewtwo was poo-poo.
All right, stop. Vanessa, you go next.
Oh, God.
I'm not even humoring that shit.
For me, it gets a 3. And like the reason it gets a 3 though is like basically most of the movie is just meh. I just can't, like, there was nothing much I can say. And then after just talking about it now, I always was pretty tempted to give a lower score because it's like how many missed opportunities they could have done with this film, like utilize the city more. That was one big thing, and then Genesect, the red Genesect, out of no reason was being a dick, and then also it was just, too, it's just almost everything just didn't make sense to me. It just kind of made me like wanted me to ask more questions, like, so why is Mewtwo here? Why is it female? Why is it? I was like, what is she doing? What is her purpose? Like what? And then it was just basically a big mess for me. So it gets the 3.
KG?
I give this one a 4.
All right. What is this? Are we counting with Pokemon all of a sudden?
You know what?
I'm so sick of your shit.
I think we are.
Thanks to Nessa, I don't feel so bad about giving it a 2.
What? How?
How?
She gave it a
Because she
higher
gave it-
score than you.
She gave it a higher score, but it's still in the lows.
So what? You feel justified? Is that what it is?
You feel
Yes.
justified with the 2?
You're still. That's like saying I got an F, but at least the dude next to me got an
I
F
was
plus.
gonna be like, oh, these guys are gonna give it like a 6 and a 7, and I'm just gonna be that hateful ass motherfucker in the back giving it a 2. I mean, I still would have stuck with it. I'm still sticking with 2. It's no matter what. But
I
go
was
ahead,
tempted to give a
KG.
lower, to be honest, but yeah, after we
Yeah.
talked about it, it kind of like now I was like, but then I was like, okay, I'm sticking with that one. I remember I gave it.
Lord.
Right, go ahead, KG.
Jesus
You gave it a
Christ.
4.
Yeah, the reason why I gave it a 4 this time around for this film is I really love the scenery of this film. I think it really looked great. Like everything about the film's like design and structure, the concept, it's really good. It's just a story and the premise that they had placed within this film that really hindered what could have been a really cool experience. Like I told you, they're in a city. They're in this grand, vast location.
But it's not Viridian City
It's the
though.
potential.
Yeah, it doesn't get utilized to its max potential because there's just so much they could have done. Like Pokemon, I know this is like way into the future, but I Choose You does something like that. And it just makes me disappointed that, like this film, it has the setting, it has the location.
Don't hold a modern, don't hold an older film to modern film standards. How dare you?
You'll understand more when we get to that.
I'm not looking forward to that at all.
You'll see soon enough. But the point is, I'm trying to say is that it just disappoints me that this film, it has this whole gimmick behind it, and they don't go anywhere with it. I love the concept. I love the look. I love the setting. And most importantly, I love the goddamn music in this film. The music is one of my favorites. It has one of my favorite songs within this OST. One particular song, it's called "The Place Where the Oldest Flower Blooms," which I believe is the final track of the film.
Is that
When
the
they
ending?
actually get to that location where the flowers are, blooming in the lake. Like that song is so good. In fact, it was actually used in one of the episodes of Sunday Moon that I really loved a lot when the characters were all laughing by the tree that the Morlul and and whatever the other Pokemon's name, the toad-looking motherfucker, his name is. I forgot his name. Point is, like that. I love the song. That song is so precious, and I feel like this OST really was good. But it's just that one song in particular. I'm just a big sucker for. But outside of that, yeah, nothing much more to say. I don't have. Should we talk about that short?
What short?
The short that came with this film, the Sylveon.
I did
my
not
God,
I don't
watch
give a
it.
shit about that. Yeah, I don't give a shit about
I
that.
don't even think I watched it.
I didn't either.
Oh, okay. Well, just to quickly summarize, Sylveon. Yeah. It's just a
Sylveon's
Sylveon
fucking
and Eevee
adorable.
show with all the evolutions together, just prancing around with all the Pokemon.
That doesn't even sound
Well-
like a short. That sounds like, hey, look, you want to see something cute for 10 minutes? There you
Well,
go.
No,
yeah,
that really isn't.
Actually, I remember the Sylveon short now that you stopped to mention it, but it made me frustrated because at this point they didn't tell us what Sylveon's type was, so we were all like going crazy trying to figure out what the
You know
fuck
what?
this thing's
do you
type
want
was.
to know what his type was? Your
What?
type.
Bullshit.
Your type.
Shut up, Terrell.
Really bullshit type.
Ah, it's terrible. I guess
love
I'll close it out then.
Yeah.
There was a reason why I was also pissed off at the whole counting with our goddamn review scores because I give
Don't
it a
tell me.
5. That's what makes me mad.
Oh,
It was
nice.
it was in perfect order, and it makes me angry. It fucking pisses me off. The reason why it primarily is getting 5 because I think the first half of this film is pretty interesting. It has nice setup, it has good visuals, it has really good animation. There's a lot of interesting plot points. I would have been totally down for a Mewtwo that I could give a fuck about, and they wouldn't do it. This is still the best Mewtwo to me because fuck the other ones. I don't care. It didn't want to drop the ball. It wanted to throw the goddamn ball into the ocean. And I was like, yo, and deflate it before they threw it. And I'm like, yo, just give me something. Just don't do this, all right? All I wanted was a good film, and you couldn't do it. And I'm like,
I'm just like thinking you saying that. I'm just thinking the man just chucks the ball, and as it's deflating, you just hear the wind coming out of the ball.
Yeah.
Just push the deflator ball back into the land and not actually touch the sea.
what's actually happening is it is pushing it downward, and then the bubbles will stop, and that's how you know it's run out of air, and it's just drowning. It's some dark shit for some fucking ball, imaginary
My
ball.
God.
It's weird. Listen, it's almost midnight as we're recording this. I'm fucking tired. All right, don't mind me. This is just ramblings of a crazy person. It has a lot of cool things going for it and had a lot of cool potential, and it wouldn't get out of the fucking hill area. I was so people don't understand. I hate this fucking hill area. We're here for 30 goddamn minutes. All right, I'm gonna stop.
The entire film.
It just drops the ball in too many areas and crushes the earth with it. It just depresses me. But it had a lot of cool potential. Still think it has really good animation. The soundtrack is great. But fuck that second half, yo. Damn it. Also, let me show you the sun. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to show my mother the sun and say, listen, this is what's going to make you a better person today. See, it's called the sun.
Well, in reality, Mewtwo was showing Genesect the Earth because it's like, this is our home.
It's stupid, Tyrone.
It is. Oh, it's stupid. There's no way around it. It's stupid.
It's stupid.
That's why it was stupid.
No, Tyrone. It's just stupid. We don't say anything else. Just acknowledge it's stupid and move on.
They could have just done something. They could have done something way better or justify something else with it.
It's fine. At this point, the last
Just
thing...
show them a picture.
Shut
Yeah.
up.
You don't
There
need to
you
go
go.
to the fucking ends of the earth.
Relax.
Just to show.
Relax, KG. We didn't have pictures. It was 2013. I was using Polaroid cameras, god
They
damn it.
could have gotten a Kodak camera and they could have just
Who
taken
the
a
fuck
picture.
is Kodak? I love that rapper, though. All right?
I knew you were gonna say that shit.
Isn't he from NYC or something? I don't even remember.
No, Kodak, his name is Kodak Black, which is actually, damn it. God damn it. I wish his name wasn't that. But it is.
Look what this movie's done.
Why?
Look
I'm
what
just
this movie
saying,
has done to that.
I almost wanted Tyrone to start singing Tunnel Vision just for the fuck of it.
Oh God.
It's so bad. Anyways, last thing, and then we're gonna get out of here. rank our black and white films. Tyrone, you're going first again.
All right, so are we going worst to greatest?
Yeah, worst to greatest.
Okay, the worst one's this one. After that is what was the first one? Shit, I just forgot it. Like that.
Victini?
The Victini film.
Victini with Zekrom and Victini with Reshiram.
Damn. Okay, yeah, Victini
God
has
damn. Damn.
Yeah, Victini with Reshiram / Zekrom has to be second. Unfortunately, but it's second. It has potential, and it actually tried to use its potential. It just had a the dual thing kind of screwed it up.
So what's number one, Tyrone?
It's Diancie and the Cocoon. I'm just kidding. No, it's it's the Mewtwo one. Not the Mewtwo one. God damn it.
You heard it here, folks. He hits the movie, but still ranks in number one.
No, it's the Keldeo one. The Keldeo one wins. Keldeo's number one. It's the best one. Yeah.
So we know what Tyrone will be driven about tonight, folks.
Yeah. So it's the Mewtwo one's dead last, the Victini one's second, and the Keldeo one's the best.
Okay. KG.
I'm pretty much gonna be a broken record here and say the exact same thing he said. So last place is gonna be this film. Second one obviously is gonna be the Zekrom and Reshiram, and then the first one goes to Keldeo. So not much more to add to that because, well, I mean, Tyrone pretty much just said everything that needed to be said.
That's true. Vanessa, whichever one you prefer to do you prefer to rank them, or do you prefer just to pick your favorite out of Gen 5?
I was like, this is, to be honest with me, I guess it wouldn't matter me much because I remember that Gen 5 films, I wasn't like a huge fan of most of them. It was just a big mess for me. So, I'm just gonna go by memory. I think if I remember correctly, I think the one I liked the most was the Keldeo one, because I remember that one I was able to tolerate that film. Because I remember the Victini one when I watched, was it the Victini, the Zekrom, and the Reshiram?
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I watched it. It was okay for the most part. They had less moments, but then towards the end, it kind of got a little cliche for me. But then I did enjoy the Ash and Victini moment when he was trying to save Victini. But other than that, I couldn't really. I wasn't like it was not one of my favorites. And then I remember the Keldeo one. It had a lot more going on, and I think also I kind of enjoyed being voiced by Vic. And so it's so kind of funny to hear for like Full Metal Alchemist Keldeo going off his voice. So it's like I remember I enjoyed that film more. Like I have a bit more memories towards it than the Victini one. And then of course the Mewtwo, I'm kind of like meh. So I guess it'll be the Keldeo one, not just off my memory.
I feel like Tyrone wanted to say something so bad.
I'm laughing at what Nessa said because all I can think right now is Keldeo. Like Ash going, what did Kiram do to you, Keldeo? He called me short.
All right, yeah, I felt bad because the first thing I was thinking, I was like, damn it, we should have had her on the other one. But I think that was when she was busy.
That damn bastard called me short.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, what did Kiram do to you? He taught me the rule of equivalent exchange.
Yeah.
What did Kiram do? What did Kiram do to you, Keldeo? He took my left arm and right leg, and he stole my brother.
Why you say it like that?
Oh, he did freeze them.
She was so mad.
That was great.
He stole my brother, Alphonse!
That son of a bitch.
Holy shit, it is Full Metal Alchemist. Technically, Kiram did freeze the three.
Oh, God.
I don't do a very good Vic Mignogna impression.
Oh, my
sorry.
goodness. He's like, you bastard!
Don't call me shy.
Yeah, like somebody just get clips from fucking Full Metal Alchemist and just put it on Keldeo's voice.
That also
Who the hell are
seems
you
dumb because he already has Vic Mignogna's voice, so it's like, I just need
No, I'm talking about.
voice clips
that would-
from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who the hell are you calling short, you overgrown dragon?
Just stop. The sad thing is that works way too well. That's what pisses me off.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, the premise works great. Like, he does actually take the theories that you could consider to be like how it was with Full Metal Alchemist, with how he took
No,
the
you
brother.
know, actually, Tyrone, you know what you should have said?
I lost my damn horn.
No. Taro, you should have said, you'd be like, Kieran, what did Kieran do to you? He stole the Philosopher's Stone.
That damn bastard stole the Philosopher's Stone.
I had a quest to go find it. Like,
They play the opening scene.
Would it do the thing where like Virizion, Terrakion, and Cobalion are all just frozen in theirs, but then Keldeo just loses his horn.
Yeah, just like that.
And then you still have the scene of Winry just shaking and falling over.
Yeah, yes. She didn't lose anything. That opening is so hilarious because, like, you see Edward lose everything. You see his brother lose his whole body. You see her just like, oh, wait a minute. wait a minute. I didn't lose shit. That's right.
No, she just shook.
Yeah, just got blasted by
Winry was just shook.
She just Nina popped. That was it.
She was like, oh.
I'm sorry, I tripped a little.
Fuck you, Ed. I guess what I can do, Ed. Let me do this. I'm gonna move both of my legs in motion. Let me run.
Quit telling me to drink my milk, Kiram, you stupid bastard.
Mama, thank you. Okay, no.
Did I hear
What
my
is this
milkshake?
movie?
Wait a minute, did I hear my milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard?
Yeah.
What is this movie done? What has this movie done to
I
us?
don't want to know what Vanessa was thinking about when she said it, because I'm thinking all I imagine is Kiram. Now I imagine Kiram being like, "What the fuck is Keldeo doing?" And that song is playing, and he's just getting it on. He doesn't care. He's like, "Oh, he's gonna show you his moneymaker."
Oh god.
Anyways, you know what? We're moving past this. All right.
Can Terrakion be voiced by Christopher Sabat?
No.
Yes. Yes, he can.
Is he? Does he represent the Armstrong family?
Yes.
All right, no, we're done here. All right, listen, I'm just gonna say this right now. The ranking for me is literally the same. I think we all kind of agree. The order is Keldeo is the best, Victini is the middle, and Genesect is the worst. I don't think there is any other argument there. And then of course, when I do TSS, Richie and Polly, Polly will be the one that'll be like, I liked the other ones more. And I'm like, damn it, now you want me to make a video with you and Tyrone arguing for 20 minutes? We're not doing that again. We don't have the time for it. It's besides the point. Yeah, I think we went on a weird Fullmetal Alchemist tangent to kind of kind of derailed everything. So if you're curious, Vanessa, are you proud of yourself?
Yeah.
I think she's over there smiling gleefully, like, yeah.
Oh goodness.
Because Vic Mignogna is the greatest. That's all. That's all I imagine.
I guess Tyrone's a psychic today. He's just like, he can see things.
Wait. Do you have a Fullmetal Alchemist poster somewhere in your house?
No, I don't actually.
I am disappointed in you. I thought
I used to.
See, every girl, every female anime fan has a fucking some sort of memorabilia that's probably signed or needs to be signed by their.
You wanna know what's sad? Vic Mignogna voices Broly too, and at no point in time did I ever stop and go, Kiram, I will start the bloodshed with you. At no point did I ever stop and think to do that.
Well, I mean, Keldeo's not a beefy motherfucker, so you can't exactly translate that.
I don't know, man. Have you seen the pony size, yo? I'm just saying.
He's like, Kiram.
This got really weird really quickly.
Man.
Oh goodness! I guess because Vic makes a very big difference between Broly and like Edward.
All right, last prediction, and we're gonna get the fuck out of here. Vanessa.
Predictions?
All right.
Vanessa, are you a black? Oh damn it, she's muted.
No, she can still hear you.
Oh
Yeah,
Vanessa,
she can still hear.
Vanessa, are you a black buster? Not black buster. God damn it.
Blackbuster.
No, I meant are you a Black Butler fan? This is usually like a gimme for most girls.
I like this show.
Shut up, Tara.
Yeah, one, to be
Sorry.
honest.
Of course you would. Of course you would like that show.
That's a great predictions.
Uh-oh.
So you do what?
You
No,
were
I never-
saying let's get into predictions.
No. I was just guessing if she liked the show because I know a lot of girls who love that show.
Actually, I'd never seen it.
All right. I'm gonna take my L and move the fuck on. Anywho, the next time you see a video from me about Pokemon, there will probably be another Genesect review. So we'll have
Weirdly.
You gotta do it twice.
You piece of shit.
Oh, because 2 with Mewtwo, I get.
Stop, KG.
God
Stop doing
damn
that.
it!
You're
No.
ruining people's lives.
God. The next review will have TSS, Richie, and possibly Polly.
If she comes.
If she comes. Not that way, folks. You're dead.
Hey, guys, can we not be 12? Can we not? No?
Damn it!
She's gonna be so embarrassed.
She's not even gonna watch this. All right, let's be real here, okay?
Like, she's gonna just be like there for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and
you think she's gonna sit in there for an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes somehow? You disgusting pigs!
You bastards!
And if by any chance she does,
Yeah,
hey
they're
there.
killing me.
Well, if she does, we need to hold up something cute to distract her.
We make our jokes out of love.
I'm gonna put Vanessa in front of me with a picture of Brock in her hands, and hopefully that'll be enough of a distraction
Or
Yeah, wait,
yeah.
for me to get out of here. Yeah, because we assume she won't attack you because that's not how this works. I would probably...
Let's end this.
Oh yeah, we need to end this. I'm just rambling at this point. I'm tired. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for support. Thank you, KG, Vanessa, and Tyrone for reviewing this with me. I gotta do it again, but I appreciate you for the first go around. It's been fun and very fucking weird because
And I'm excited for the next generation.
Oh
I
yeah,
know
yeah.
some
Because
of
it's X
you
and
people haven't seen
Y.
a particular film.
Yeah.
once again.
Oh.
Hey
bye.
KG, we get to go. KG, we get to go back into our original territory.
Man.
What was
Why-
that,
wait,
KG?
Right. Why are you upset by that? That's good.
you say that, and then there's that one.
He died.
Yeah.
Yep.
all right.
Did I die?
No, there we go.
Yeah, you died first. Yeah,
You
he died
you
for a
died
second.
for a second. What were you saying?
Okay, well, perfect. Because I was trying to say, yeah, sure, we're going back, but that also means we have to go back to that one film.
Oh, Hoopa?
See what I mean?
And
Now you guys understand my
and
point.
No, I was thinking
hated
about
that
I was thinking about the positives. Damn it.
Well, Diane's
okay.
the next film, technically, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's why I
we
was.
forgot
Yeah,
about
I was
that.
thinking about that. Yeah, I was thinking about Diancie.
And with that
Okay.
being said, have a good night, have a good day, sleep tight, and don't fade away. This has been a Pokemon review. Peace out.
I think.
Woo!
That was so random. No more alcohol for you, Tyro.
Wait, what?